Welcome to the top of the morning show. It's your girl TT from the D, and I am super excited to talk with you this morning. I am super excited, and I am excited to the third power to actually talk about this subject. I've tossed this topic around plenty of times, and I've engaged in deep conversation with men and women about this title, Alpha Women. And last night I had the pleasure of breaking bread and enjoying some delicious libations and food with two amazing alpha women. And I told them, I said, you know what, I'm going to do a show and I'm doing it tomorrow, and it's going to be based off of hanging out with y'all, but not only just on last night, but just women that I know in general. I know a lot of alpha women. And if you ever heard the term alpha woman, but you're like, oh, I don't like the way that sounds, it may be because you are one, right? What they say, that's the kettle called the black kettle, calling the kettle black, or there's a saying about that. I messed that up, but I'm not going to mess up the alpha woman. An alpha woman is a dominant type of female. She forces you to look at her in the room, not so much by how she looks or how she enters, but she commands your attention. Not even trying to. That's what's so crazy. She's strong and she walks with confidence, not arrogance. She busts her ass. She works hard. And the two women that I was hanging out with last night are two amazing, beautiful, inside and out alpha women. And they're always on the go. They're always on the go. Whether it's professionally or personally, they're always on the go. They are influential. They are very powerful. They love to have fun. They have a good time. And it's going to take a real strong alpha man to be able to be with people like those two. But even just women in general that are alpha women. An alpha woman is unstoppable. She's incomparable. She's second to none. And when she knows what she wants, please understand, she goes after it. No holds barred. And I think to myself, I got traits of an alpha woman. I think I do. It's different when you know somebody that's an alpha woman. Then you like, I might be. That's like somebody saying, I know they're a tattletale. It's like, I might be a tattletale. Like, you gotta like, I got some traits, I don't know. But an alpha woman, you can't mistake her, right? You might say, hey, that sounds like me. Well, does it? I'm going to share with you, after I did a little research, 12 signs that you may be an alpha woman. Or you could say, no, I know I am. And if you are, awesome. Men, I think, are, one, intimidated sometimes, and then men are sometimes taken back by alpha woman. It depends on the man. Now, when we talk about an alpha woman who is confident, that woman can be quirky. She knows she has flaws because there is no perfect person, period. I don't care who you are. And they may even have some insecurities, but they're human. They're not supernatural type of people. They are human like you and me, right? They choose to embrace those traits and they exude confidence, right? You know they present when they present. Even if they try to play the back of the room, they can't help but bring their presence. It's like an illumination of a light. It ignites and it is bright. Now, also an alpha woman, they're balanced. An alpha woman works hard. Like I said earlier, she knows how to chill, relax. She knows when enough is enough. She knows how to check her own temperature. She don't need you to check hers, but just in case you're doing temperature checks, she not gonna tell you she's something that she's not. Let's be clear. She knows how to maintain a healthy balance. And when it's off-centered or it's not really balanced to her liking, she knows how to let you know that too. Okay? And by no means is the alpha woman a pushover. See, they understand and they've mastered how to set those boundaries, those limits. Where some of us struggle, well, that's family, or that's, no. Now, you got that for sure. That's my mom, that's my dad, if they're married, that's my spouse, that's my child or children, that's my sibling. They got those limits to people even with those titles. And they're not afraid to say no. Okay? They don't believe in wasting time. They don't got time to be beating around the bush. They're going to say what they mean and mean what they say. Please understand. Please believe it. Now, something else. Some alpha women have a hard time dealing with criticism, and, some can accept it, right? You ever heard somebody say, oh, you could dish it out, but you can't take it. Oh, no, they'll dish it out, but they're able to take it, especially when they know that you're walking in your truth and your impression on which they left with you, right? And they use it as a means of making themselves better. I don't think they take it like, oh, you trying to... No, they know what you mean, and they know how to dissect what you're saying. And as a good friend, coworker was saying, they be picking up what you're dropping, okay? An alpha woman doesn't compete with others. It's just like they don't have to. For why? For what? For reasons unknown to them, because they feel like, listen, I'm not in any kind of competition with anybody. Not at all. While other people stand there and they're in competition, they're looking like I ain't gotta compete. I won't be second to anybody. They know how to check processes, and they know how to complete themselves. You could go out with an alpha woman and she could say, okay, I can handle this bill or give the bill to you. What you want to do? They're prepared to take care of themselves. And sometimes, and I will say this, okay? Sometimes, and I say sometimes, not all the time, sometimes they struggle with letting an alpha man lead. I say that because it's true. Now, some of y'all might want to dance with me on that, and that's okay. That's all right. I think it's by case engagement with people. It's all about who they might have encountered, who they've dealt with in the present or the past. But they don't compete with others. If you trying to date an alpha woman and you like, well, I'm kind of torn between you and, if this is from a fella's perspective, of course, I'm trying to, baby girl, I'm torn in between you and I was like, they will excuse themselves. Now that's something I know, and that's a trait of mine. Let me help you make it easy for you. Don't get torn, sir. Go ahead and choose them, because what you're not going to do is try to figure it out. Once we realize, like, you don't know what you want to do, we going to give you an ultimatum. Should have get off the pot. If you confused, you ain't sure, make your mind up. When you figure out what you want to do, you let me know. If I'm available, then we'll see what happens. If I'm not available, it is what it is. So they're confident. That goes back to the confidence level. An alpha woman isn't intimidated. She knows her abilities. She knows her restraints. She knows her level of what she wants to deal with, what she don't want to deal with, without a doubt. She's not going to struggle, and she's not going to let anybody intimidate her, no matter what that looks like. It could be in the personal workplace, home, friend zone. It doesn't matter. She knows what she wants, and she's going to go after it. As I said earlier, we know. We might look and say, do I really need, or do I? But we're not going to allow ourselves to belittle or degrade ourselves or settle for less. We're all about succeeding. We're all about empowering. You hear how I just included myself? I was like, I got some traits. Yeah, I'm leaning more towards being an alpha type of woman, because an alpha woman is also smart, right? And it won't necessarily mean she had to go to college and have a 4-year or 2-year degree. She can be street smart, worldly smart, right? She knows how to recognize a toxic person and walk away. And sometimes, because they give you the benefit of the doubt until we mature, they may just put in that work. But it becomes a burden when they realize, like, this just ain't working. This not working. They throw in a towel. They wave that white flag like, yeah, this is not it, and I'm going to let you go and do you, right? They know how to follow that gut intuition. Something's tugging on their spirit. Especially when they are believers, they go after that. Okay? An alpha woman, as I said, has the best intentions. They assume positive intent first. They like to look at the bright side of stuff. I don't know why we do, because sometimes it should be real clear to us, like, this ain't it. And then we say, you know what, but let me give you the benefit of the doubt. And that's beautiful, because guess what? We all deserve the benefit of the doubt. I believe. I mean, that's my personal opinion. You could disagree, and that's okay, because we're supposed to agree to disagree and keep it moving if we don't agree. But if we touch and agree, then kudos to us. An alpha woman manages their stress level different than the average woman. They put problems into perspective. They put things, they align it, right, as they arise. We're more of let's address this now so it don't linger. Sometimes we sit on something in a situation. We may not tell you up front all the time first. As soon as it hit the fan, we want to sit there, dissect it, break it down, see how we can work it out. Right? What's in our control, what's not in our control. We like to keep it simple. We don't want all that attention. We're not for all of that drama. None of that. But what we ain't gonna do is let that shit stress us out. Okay? An alpha woman is a motivator. She's known to encourage and inspire her friends, her family, her loved ones, her circle or circles. For those of you that have more than one, she's there whether you need her or you don't. You may have to tell her stand down, and she may be like, because she's an alpha woman, she like, okay, I'm gonna stand down, but I'm gonna still be looking. Right. An alpha woman also accepts her shortcomings and her places in which she feels she could have done better. She believes in chasing her dreams. She knows when it's not a part of the plan, and she sees it as a learning opportunity. She'll take that gray and say, let me turn this into a white or black. White, black, in between. But she's not going to keep that gray. She's not. She believes in using it as a stepping stool to become one step closer to her goals, because she got end goals. I don't know if you know that about alpha women. They got end goals. They got short-term, long-term goals just like everybody else. But it's the through line for me that will take them through, right? And my last point, an alpha woman lives with no regrets. Now, in the beginning, that's not true, because we don't know what we're going to end up regretting until we go through some things. And once we go through some things, we tend to say, you know what, I'm going to have to lay this down. What God tell us to do, lay our burdens down at his feet and walk off and let him have it. Now, a lot of times we act like we think God need our help, and I'm here to remind you, he does not. He needs you to let it go and let him have it. You've been praying, you've been asking him to show you the way, and he has showed you, and yet you still holding on. You still holding on like he needs you to hold on. He like, cut the cord, let it go. I let it go. Why are you holding on? And you sitting there like, you sure you got it, Lord? And he like, girl, lady, if you don't go and let this go, put it at my feet and move on so you can pick up something different, then it's going to be you, friend, that's suffering, not him. Alpha women are just simply amazing. I'm not saying that because I have alpha women traits, or alpha woman's trait, I should say. I'm saying that because I've known many alpha women. They are amazing and resilient, right? Whether they know it or not. And a lot of times their back gets pushed against the wall because they are afraid. Because guess what? Sometimes, and I've got to say what I got to say, sometimes men, y'all can't handle an alpha woman. They're intimidating. And they're so strong-minded, and I can say, hey, it's a shortcoming. They're so strong-minded sometimes, they make you feel like they don't need you, but we do. Let me be clear, fellas. We need you. We do. We need you. We sometimes mess up a good thing because we don't realize it's okay to be vulnerable to a man that is not going to take advantage of that. Right? To a man that's going to love us and respect us and treat a alpha woman with love and understanding and patience and all those great things. He also, too, is not going to back down and bow down to her. He's not going to kiss her booty and none of that. He's going to love her where she is and meet her, because it takes a strong type of man to deal with an alpha woman. See, an alpha woman can't be with any and everybody. They're selective, and they should be. We should be. As a matter of fact, we all should be when it comes to choosing a man or a woman that you want to spend your time with, let alone your life with. So, if you are an alpha woman, kudos to you. If you're a woman and you're like, I'm not sure if I am, maybe I rambled off something that made you say, you know what? That's a check mark for me. Get your pen, go back and listen to all those things I said what an alpha woman is. And check off those things that you say, you know what, I can relate to that. Because you just may be looking at yourself in the mirror like, girl, honey, did you know that you was an alpha woman? Whoop, whoop. And then maybe you might say I haven't arrived there. But I think we all have potential to become alpha women. We're all born by nature strong. Some of us have gone through some treacherous things that have made us not recognize our strength. And then sometimes we've gone through some terrible things that made us recognize our strength. So salute to all of the alpha women in the world across the globe. We got listeners all across the globe, right? I'm so aware that you guys are global. We're not just in the U.S. We're in other countries. Last time I checked, I believe my show, and I'm saying this with a humble spirit, I believe my show was heard in over 15 different countries. Can you believe that? TT from the D podcast is heard in over 15 countries. And I'm like, wow, Lord, that ain't nothing but God. Because I'm like, I travel, but the only other countries I've been to, I've been to Jamaica, the Bahamas, Mexico. And they say Mexico ain't another country, but I respect it as, right? Now, my husband is the avid world traveler. He ain't been to a whole lot of different countries. But when I think about it, my show, right? Places I've never been, places I may never ever go. To know that people listen to my show, I have to say salute and thank you. Well, that's all I got for you guys on this thankful Thursday. It's a Thursday, beautiful day here in the D. Little windy, little chilly because we fell into the fall weather, and rightfully so. We are in November. And what are we, 21 days out from a holiday? Getting ready for Thanksgiving for those of you that are, and those of you that are not. It's going to be a day off if you work in a place because it's a federal holiday, right? Make the best of your day and have a good day.